Hello, everybody. Yes, hello, this is me. This is a little preamble I'm just doing right before the cast. Basically, I've spent fuck knows how much time trying to edit this damn thing down, and it still weighs in at 3 hours and 35 minutes. So, what I've decided, in total lazy style, is I'm going to break it in half. So there you go. You can stop listening whenever you like. But basically, the first half will be right up to Jim Moon's Profanasaurus. We'll have Jim Moon's Profanasaurus. I'll pop in and say, there you go, breaking it in half. Goodbye. And then the second half, the 124B, will have, of course, the whole Dark Knight Rises finale discussion feedback thing. So there you go. Sorry, I'm being lazy, but it is 10 to 1. You know what? I'm on holiday, so fuck it. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed the cast. Casts, as I'm breaking it in half. And I'll see you on the 14th of August for Pitch Black. Yes, we'll be doing Pitch Black. Sorry to spoil the whole thing at the end of part 2, but there we go. Anyway, see you later. Tatty bye.
I can't stand the vein is in Gotham, and he's coming after me. I can't stand the vein is in Gotham. He broke my back over his knee. Hey, I'm in pain. Tell me, do you remember how hard I used to be? Met him in the sewer. Selena Kyle led me astray, yeah. Now that I'm lying in a crumpled heap, now I'm thinking that this just ain't my day. Now I'm a cripple. Pain's done me down a pit. Things are getting worse. Somebody to help me take a shit. Now my back is better. Gonna climb right up that wall, yeah. How the hell do I get home when I got no cash, no friends, no help? I've just got fuck all.
Hello and welcome to Blackdog number 124.
You don't sound so sure.
I'm not entirely sure, to be honest.
Should we ask Bane? What it is? Bane, what episode are we?
It is 124.
I'm sorry, I didn't understand a fucking word you said there, but there you go.
Yes, I am Blackdog.
Hello. As you can hear, I found a new way of doing silly voices, and it uses the world's biggest hangover mug.
Yes.
Anyway, I'm Lee.
And I'm Darren.
And this week we will be covering the Black Knight Rises.
The Black Knight Rises? You've been looking at those posters again.
Exactly.
It
is but a scratch.
Yes.
No, the Dark Knight Rises. We will have a shitty superhero. We will have Jim Moon's Profanasaurus. Yay. We will have a little bit of news, lots of feedback, and that's it. And usual shit and things and stuff. Stuff and tings. So, yes, seeing as you're lifting the cup to your mouth, you can carry on. So, okay, it's okay. I'm just going to say that basically next week we will be away. Well, actually, I'll be away.
You'll be away.
I'll be away in Tenerife.
And
for
I'll
1
be
week.
roaming the countryside like a wolf.
So, yes. So this will be the last podcast for a week. And then we'll be back on the 14th or the 13th of August.
It is it's the week
before your
the big
wedding.
Day.
Yes, exactly. And then we'll have a week after that. and then
It's another break.
Another
because
break
I go off on
for a
honeymoon.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Honeymoon.
Yes.
Sorry. And yes, and then after that we're off to normal stuff, doing normal things.
Onwards and upwards.
Right. So Darren, now that you've finished swigging your tea, I wasn't gonna make you burn your mouth with that one. How's your week been?
Well, this week I discovered one of my new favourite programs.
Go on.
There is a series. I can't remember which side it's on. It's like I think it's on Channel 4 or Channel 5. One of the two.
Of course it is.
It's one of those things. It's a series called Embarrassing Bodies, or subtitled Look at that. So yes, it's all about people who've got these rather strange, embarrassing complaints that they're too sort of like, they're too scared to go to their doctor with. So instead of going to the doctor in privacy, they broadcast it on national television. They don't block out their faces or anything. So,
well, yeah, exactly. I was going to say, if I was too embarrassed to go to a doctor with penile warts, I would love to parade it on Channel 4 at 11:30. That's exactly it.
It's like Jeremy Kyle and Jerry Springer. Where would you would normally take someone aside and have like a little discussion with them about a problem you may have with them? No, fuck that. Let's get it on national television.
Yes.
You may wonder why you're here tonight. Well, actually, I do. Well, I've got to break it to you that your wife used to be an elephant. That sort of thing. What?
Yeah. You are actually adopted by pygmies.
Yeah, there you go. So anyway, so Embarrassing Bodies.
Right.
I don't think it's really for the squeamish, this one.
Yeah. And anyone eating their breakfast while listening to the podcast, wait,
you might want to go. Maybe we should have a 10-minute sort of from this point on, because I'll probably mention this every time I watch it now. We'll have a 10-minute, not like a spoiler zone, but a spoil your breakfast zone.
Embarrassing body
zone, yeah. So this week, one particularly painful sort of disease or it's not disease, but a condition that a guy had, involved seepage from his arse. Really, or more precisely, seepage from a great big open sore, just above where his anal, where his hole is, and between that and his sack, basically, right? And what it is, something had happened there, like some infection had happened, and something had exploded or something like that, and it caused it. Basically, the poor bastard was in pain constantly. He'd had this for 4 years,
right?
And they examined him, and they found out that this condition was so bad it had caused underground tunnels in his arse. Right,
what?
So this stuff was coming out in various different places.
Oh man!
And they basically showed this operation where they got him on this table.
Oh.
And it's a good job he was out completely, because I mean, if I'd had this, I'd want to be out completely. I don't want to see any film of this procedure whatsoever, because they kind of get him so that
put in some polyfiller, just coat it over.
No, they
That'll
literally
be as good as New Days.
They
Tommy Walsh.
Listen. They knock him out. Right,
Tommy Walsh's plaster ass.
They knock him out, and then he ends up with his head between his knees, literally, so they can operate on him. And I'm not joking. It's like they excavated his arse, right? You see him. They put these. It's like they put these clamps up his arse, and they hold his arse open, and there's like these doctors standing there as if they're like judging a fucking cake baking competition. And they kind of dug out the tunnels, and they scraped all this bad shit out of his arse, and I mean they cured him in the end, thankfully.
There wasn't much left of him. Was he a boiled egg?
No, but it's just like, it was amazing. It really was.
And wait,
the moral of this story is, I don't know. There is no moral of this story. It's just one of those unusual things that I watch at around about 2 o'clock in the morning, stuff like that.
Go to bed.
Go to bed.
Fucking hell! I mean, seriously, what? So, are you eating a kebab?
I was tucking into a bowl of trifle at the time. It kind of put me off. So it's like I looked down at it, and there's like the red and yellow of the red of the jam and the yellow of the custard and the white of the cream, and I'm looking up at this bloke's fully opened arse before me, and I'm thinking, you know what? I've got right on my trifle. I really have. So, yeah, put that down. But yeah. So that was one part of my week. That was actually last night. But before that, there's the thing that we went to, of course, Peter Kelk's barbecue.
Arse tunneling.
Sorry,
Peter Kelk's arse tunneling.
yeah, no, Peter Kelk's barbecue. Yes, I had a fantastic time on the weekend.
That was good.
It was, wasn't it? It was such a great laugh, especially when we because we went round and actually bought some heavy ordnance as well round from
Nerf
Elton's
guns.
house. Nerf guns. We thought we were being the big men, brought them round and thought we'd fire them at them, and then the kids got hold of them. Now the thing with kids is, kids have got no sense of when to stop.
Yeah.
You know.
Yes.
They're likely to make someone's eye come out before they realise that maybe they shouldn't be firing these things so close to people's heads.
Yes.
So it was a bit like a battlefield. But,
yes.
We had burgers and sausages, so I was quite happy.
Oh, right, okay. Well, yeah, because I was going to say, because I made the awful mistake of going up there myself, and then it turned into a pitch battle with about 4 of them, didn't it?
Yes, indeed.
And then it was like, I'm standing there with a baseball bat going, oh, I can't hit little so-and-so. And
No,
I
but
can't
they could hit us.
Yeah, and then I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm just going to give him a light tap on the top of the head.
Yeah.
It's going to be like all gentle. And then he comes up with a fucking tennis racket and just clocks me in the arse.
Yeah,
It's
have
like,
it.
you fucker. Oh, it's on now. Oh, you're only 7. All
Exactly.
Right,
And I've just clipped you in the mouth with my tennis racket.
yeah, well, that
that
was actually accidental. I did manage.
Sure.
I swung. I was blocking some. I can't remember whose child it was at the time. Someone was swinging like sort of like a berserker, possessed, sort of like a tennis racket at me, and I blocked it. And my tennis racket got caught with his, and then I'm pulling it away, and they sort of locked together.
And it slid down
and then it slid down the shaft, and then basically, and then he moved, and as he moved, all my pressure behind that tennis racket shot my arm out, and I caught this kid right underneath the nose, between the nose and the top of the lip.
He wasn't sure what to do about it to begin with, because you see him stand there
With a tennis racket sticking out of his face.
Exactly, in a bit of shock. And then it's like you could see the decision going on in his head. Do I cry?
Yes.
Which he did.
Does
And made
this
you
hurt?
look like a complete and utter git.
Yeah, well, if you
Nothing
can't.
changes.
No, exactly. If you can't beat kids up, what's the point of being an adult?
Indeed. So yeah, fabulous weekend.
It was
there.
a good weekend.
Yeah, must thank Pete and Tracy for their hospitality,
Yes.
putting me and Laura up overnight, and then going for the Sunday dinner and stuff
And
like that.
putting up with Laura going into the gin, I think, from what I heard.
Oh my God!
She hit the gin somewhat hard, I understand.
Well, she bought a whole bottle of Blue Sapphire.
A whole
gin.
bottle. It was like someone had brought in a tanker.
Yes, and she literally demolished the entire bottle.
Yes.
So there was that.
Yes.
And of course, I understand you made a bit of cash as well, didn't you, Lee?
Yes, I did make a bit of cash, plying my wares to poor old Elton. Well, you know what? I almost don't feel guilty, because at the end of the day, I did kind of blindside him with it. Because
Do you know what? It was almost like the story of Jack and the Beanstalk. Where you sold him the magic beans for, for the
5p.
Yeah, for 5p.
But no, it's basically, for those of you who don't know, if you listen to the Shonky Lab, which is shonkylab.co.uk, basically Elton was saying how he's just discovered eBay. And the long and the short of it is that he's suddenly gone into full overdrive mode, as we all do when we first get on eBay.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just gone and bought loads of Star Wars toys. Well, I've got loads of Star Wars toys, but they were all kind of it's fair to say some of them were in quite a bit of disarray. Some of them were good, some of them were okay.
Oh, don't worry, we'll stick them in a dishwasher. They'll be fine.
Exactly.
If it's anything like that Millennium Falcon you got.
Yeah, exactly.
That's crystal clean.
Exactly.
That is now.
And so I was kind of in this position of like, I wanted to get rid of them. I wanted to sell them. But if I put them on eBay, you get all lots of people saying, is it mint? Is it still in the box? Is it still in the box with its original stickers? Has it really been packaged by several yaks and a Tibetan monk? Has it been blessed by the Dalai Lama? And, all that kind of stuff. I know it's only 5p, but I want to know. And it's like, oh, fuck off. And it gets to that point where it's like, you either want the little plastic gun or you don't. It's a plastic gun. In fact, it costs more for the stamp than you're paying for the thing. Yes, but is it the original blue plastic or is it the one with the double seam? It's like, oh, fuck off. So, yes, eBay can go fuck itself and all the people on it. Anyway,
so, he went from eBay to Libay.
To Libay, exactly. So I thought, well, I can't get rid of my stuff without getting some sort of ulcer or the desire to do harm to my fellow man. So I thought, well, fuck it, I'll take this stuff to Elton. So I piled it all in the boot, and then just suddenly went, oh, by the way, do you want to come and have a look in the back of the car? And I went, ta-da! And I just presented him with like tons of stuff, and I think he wasn't really up for buying any of it. But I was just standing there going, look, it's all for you. I brought it here.
I think he was secretly deep down most happy with his purchase.
Yeah, so he ended up with about 100 Star Wars figures.
Yeah, he had it. He got that. He got those. He got an AT-AT. He got a Rebel transport.
A very busted up X-wing.
Yeah, also a very busted up Snowspeeder.
Very busted up Snowspeeder. Die-cast Millennium Falcon.
And Star Destroyer as well, don't forget that.
That's
that
right.
Was in there.
Oh, there you go. Don't like that power supply thing.
No.
Oh, by the way, yeah, just in case anyone wants to know, we're having a few, not technical issues, but teething troubles, given that I've just upgraded my hard disk. So I've upgraded my hard disk, and that means a clean install of Windows, which means it kind of does all these weird things, and yes, a new install of Audition. But anyway, carry on. So if it suddenly goes, doo, it just disappears, and this whole podcast is about 15 minutes long. That's why.
There you are.
But anyway, carry on, Dal. Yeah. He got die-cast Millennium Falcon,
Yes.
die-cast Star Destroyer,
and he got one of those few, I think it was about 3 or 4 money-making toys that Lucas invented that weren't in Star Wars. Or Empire Strikes Back.
the bikes and the flying vehicles which were never seen ever,
and the snow tank and stuff like that.
Yeah, and then there was the radar gun as well from Empire Strikes Back.
Yes,
which blows up when you press the
push
button.
of a button.
Yes. So he didn't do bad out of it, did he?
No, I think he.
Oh, and yeah, we did the Rebel transport, didn't we?
Yes, we mentioned that with all its false flaws and
and all
stuff
that kind of stuff. Cool. So he did all right out of that, but I did feel slightly guilty for basically blindsiding him with it. Hey, I brought a load of stuff, and he's like, "How much?" And he's saying that, and there was like all these, like Pete and everyone else is sort of sitting around going, "Whoa, at least £100 per figure," and all this sort of thing. And it's like I'm just trying to get rid of it. I mean, the fact is, for Script Sandwich, had Script Sandwich lived, we were actually going to give away a Star Wars figure as a prize, weren't we? For each time.
I think.
Now everyone misses Script Sandwich.
So you want it, don't you?
Fuckers.
Bitches. But you even managed to sell some tat to Pete Kelk as well, didn't you?
I did. I sold a Tauntaun, a little Yoda figure.
Actually, those were the best looking bits of the
collection.
The collection, because you had a proper Han Solo in snow outfit with the gun, with a really good looking Tauntaun. Yeah. And you had a fully decked out Yoda as well.
A fully decked out Yoda and a power droid.
And a power droid as well.
So there you go. What else? What have I done? Got very angry at work. Lots of anger. And I've been sort of like trying to work out when the Olympics is starting, because I've been on the train for the last 4 days. Yeah. And it feels like a Sunday. There doesn't seem to be fucking anyone on the train at all.
Shall I tell you why there's nobody on the train?
Why is that?
Because they're pricks like me who are, instead of going in at the normal time, are actually waking up 3 or 4 hours before we actually go to bed just to get on the train to get into work. Right? Because I've been getting in. Getting up at 5 every morning, getting the I think it's just
Silly o'clock.
Yeah, the silly o'clock train. Just to be in by bloody half an hour before I'm due to start anyway. But I do get to go home at 4 o'clock, so
that's a plus. Whee, bonus.
So yeah, that's why the trains are empty, because we've all taken the bad advice of the government and changed our entire lives just so we can get in get in past the people going to see the women's volleyball. Yeah. Or Jessica Ennis in her pants.
But I tell you what, women's volleyball in HD, BBC HD, paid for its license fee. That's all I'm saying. It paid for its license fee,
Excellent.
except for when the Canadian team turned up, because you could actually see the moustache on the lady who was the lead one.
My God.
Yes.
Really?
It actually looked like, the guy, I can't remember, the guy who's in Dark Knight Rises at the beginning, is it Aidan Gillen? Who's also in Game of Thrones. And he's got that, he looks like one of the Kemp brothers, Ross Kemp, or not Ross Kemp, Martin Kemp, looks a bit like him. I can't remember his fucking name. Anyway, and he's got that little moustache. He's the sort of Machiavellian character in Game of Thrones. With the prostitute.
Yes, I know him, yeah.
Yeah, well, basically, and he's got that little grey moustache that kind of, like, sometimes you don't see it until the light hits it. Yeah, well, she looked a bit like that.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, no amount of focusing on her sandy bottom would distract from the fact that they kept focusing on her face, and it just looked like Spider-Man goggles, this moustache, and it's like, you're focusing on J. Jonah Jameson, he must be in the fucking crowd.
But was it a perfectly formed ass?
Oh, it was, yeah.
Oh, well, there you go then.
It was like, yeah, you could make crystal goblets out of that. But anyway, but speaking about the Olympics, we had a bit of a mishap with our Olympics thing. Now, if anyone was listening last week, we were going to the gymnastics, to the O2.
How was the gymnastics, Lee?
Well, the gymnastics was a little disappointing considering we didn't go.
It was the female gymnastics as well.
It was the female gymnastics. It was female artistic gymnastics.
Was it now?
Yes, it was. And
lots of bending and
flexing and
stuff.
And yes.
And
yes.
crap.
Stop it.
Sorry.
And we basically we got home from Pete's at about 11 o'clock at night, thinking, right, okay, Sunday, got to get up at like 5 in the morning because we got to catch the train. We got to get all this we got to get on the train at like 5 in the morning to get into London, to come back out of London, to get to the O2 because we can't park and we can't take a bus because of the fucking traffic and all that sort of stuff. It's going to be an absolute nightmare. We got to start, the gymnastics starts at 9. It's like, okay, right, fair enough. Goes on for 3 hours. We got to plan all our day, that we got to get home in time. It's going to be taking out 4 hours and all this sort of stuff. Got to make sure the kids have got stuff to play with and keep them busy and not tired and grumpy. And then I said, right, okay, I'm just going to go brush my teeth and do all that sort of stuff. So I'm standing, getting ready. Kids are already asleep. And then Carol comes in and goes, oh, by the way, yeah, well, it looks like, according to the tickets, it starts at 11, so that's not bad. I'm like, oh, well, that's good. That's pretty good, actually. It starts at 11. That means we don't have to get up until like 7 o'clock, which is a lot more reasonable. And then Carol goes, well, hold on. That doesn't sound right. 11 o'clock. Oh. And there was just this, like, thud in the air, and I went, what? And she went, well, it looks like the tickets are for the 28th. Which just, ladies and gentlemen, happened to be the day we were actually talking at 11 o'clock at night.
Do you know what I think would have been funnier? Had you gone through the sort of virtual strip search that you have to go through to get into the O2 at the moment, and then discovered it was something like, I don't know, Hairy Men's Bowling or something like that.
No, it's just been yesterday. But that was the worst bit, because then we went to...
This is not ladies' gymnastics.
Yeah, this was not what I paid to see. Where's the gash? No. Olympic qualifying gash. Sorry, ladies, sorry. Anyway, but so what happened was, so I said, oh God, okay, fair enough. So we went to bed, bit upset, very upset when it come to the kids. They were all like, we're going to the Olympics. Oh, no, we're not. But then we went and got flower girl dresses for your wedding anyway, so it worked out okay. But it's okay now. It's okay. We see the bright side. We got the flower dresses. I blew 80 quid in tickets that we didn't go to, but we got the flower girl dresses, and yeah.
Well,
Fuck it.
Good.
Yes, that's good. That's great.
Good.
That's fucking brilliant. That's terrific. But anyway, other than that, yes, I installed my stupid solid state drive, which is too boring to go into. All I will say is, if anyone is doing anything super duper technical and you want to do something super duper technical, read the super duper technical sites. go to the Microsoft site, go to the Apple site, go to the Tech Radar site. What you don't do is go to Lifehacker, because they come up tops and it goes, oh yeah, how to go from here to here and do all these technical things. Because you know what? They write that shit down, but they don't test it. No. And what happens is you sit there and you do exactly what they say. You fuck up your system absolutely royally. You completely sitting there for another hour and a half at 3 o'clock in the morning going, I can't get the fucking computer to work. Then you get on the iPad, you go onto Lifehacker, you go down, just in case there's any extra details in the comments, and then right at the very bottom, there's a comment saying, oh, sorry, we made a bit of a mistake on this, and this. Please accept our apologies for any inconvenience. To which I wrote, you cunts, in the comment section, which was promptly deleted and I was promptly banned. So there you go. But nevertheless, that's been my week.
Oh, fantastic.
Oh, and I sent a tweet to the BBC.
You did? What? When did you send this tweet?
During the Olympic opening ceremony.
Ah, yes, because I finally got to see that
Yes.
on Sunday night, actually, when we got back and watched it.
I tweeted to them.
Yeah.
I would pay them a large amount of money to a charity of their choice if they were to kick the lead out the back of the sound booth that leads to Trevor Nelson's head. I never got a reply. I suspect I've been blocked there as well.
Do you know what? I think that the message got through, because when we listened to it, we were sitting there thinking, well, where's this this constant droning from Trevor Nelson? Because there wasn't any. I think he said about 3 things, and they were all about biscuits or something.
And then they punch him in the head.
Yeah, and then it's kind of, you know, it just went on. So we didn't really hear anything from. There was this whole period in the opening ceremony when nobody said anything as well. They
No.
blocked them out.
We got Trevor Nelson. There was a line where it goes into the sequence about the 80s and youth and all that sort of stuff. And it starts playing all this really good music. You know, it goes through all these different mixes of music, and it goes from Underworld to New Order and all this stuff. And it's going along, and then it's got some modern stuff in there, a bit older stuff and all this sort of thing. And then Trevor Nelson, in his infinite wisdom, the human iPod shuffle that he is, turned around and he went, oh yeah, see, now what we've got here is this is all about music, and the music is really important to the Olympics because it's the music of life, and music influences all the children and blah-de-blah-de-blah. He goes, and that's why I love music, because the music is really great and it's really important, and if you listen to this is like New Order, and there's some really good stuff coming up, and we know that there's stuff afterwards, and this stuff and that stuff and that stuff, and it's like, by the time he finished, the fucking whole thing was over, and I was literally shouting at the TV. I was going, "Shut up, you cunt! Shut the fuck up! Shut up, you cunt! Shut up, Trevor Nelson! Shut the fuck up!" And then what happens is, just a little bit later on, I switched to HD, and there's all these people on Facebook going, "Lee, press the red button. You can turn off Trevor Nelson." And even Chris Hewitt of Empire was going, like, "Just press the fucking red button, and you can get rid of him."
Yeah.
But that's on Freesat, and that's on Sky, but not on BBC HD. You went to the red button channel for BBC HD, and it says, "Oh no, but we've only got this channel running," and it takes you back to HD. Anyway, go back, and there's this bit where it goes, if you're watching this, you can watch this in BBC HD, and if you've got BBC HD and you've got a 3D telly, you can actually press this button and get it in 3D. Suddenly, like, as another piece of beautiful music is rising up, and it's like, basically now it's the greatest hits of Danny Boyle's movies. Because it was like bits from fucking 28 Days Later and bits from Sunshine and all that sort of stuff.
There were some bits from, I mean...
there was a bit from Train Spotting, and...
Yeah, it was mostly from 28 Days Later.
It was, like Abide With Me and all that sort of thing.
That was nice. I really liked that part.
But the bit when they're all dancing in the sun and all this sort of thing. Yeah.
You know, that was cut by NBC.
Yeah, I know. Let's not get into that, because that's a whole kettle of fish. I know that people got quite angry about that. And, and brought up some controversial points, which I won't say on this podcast, despite how controversial we can be at times.
Yes.
Moving on quickly. But the thing was, so they're doing all this, and then... I think it's Sue Barker goes, "Oh, and you can watch this in 3D," and that was it. She goes quiet. All of a sudden, Trevor Nelson pops up and he goes, 3D. Has anyone got a 3D telly? Because I tell you what, I'm wondering if they're any good. because I'm thinking about getting one, you know, like 3D tellies, because I'm a little unsure. You know, I've seen a few good ones, but I'm not really happy about wearing the glasses. I'm like, you've got this beautiful piece of music from Sunshine playing. You've got this dancing going on in the sun. It's a really morose moment of like, oh, someone's died, moving on. Let's see the wall of people who couldn't be here today and all this kind of stuff. Yeah. And there's Trevor Nelson going, oh, I'm thinking of going to Comet and buying a fucking 3D TV. He's like, shut up, you inane fucking dribbling buffoon. I would just want to kick his fucking spine out through the top of his head just to shut the fuck up. In fact, you know what? If there was a button that said, kill Trevor Nelson, I think every person on earth would have pressed it. Because he's just a fucking inane dimwit. It's just like, I mean, we talk some shit on this podcast, but we could leave him talking for 7 hours. And he wouldn't double up on what he was saying once, and guarantee it wouldn't have anything to do with anything we were talking about. But it would just, I just like, by the end of it, I wanted to just go down there and fucking just deck him. It's like, you've just taken some of the best movie soundtracks in the last fucking 10 years, and you've just talked a load of old shit over them, you stupid twat.
So you're not going to be too impressed when I tell you that I've actually secured him for the next episode.
Brilliant, bring him in. We can next episode will be not a podcast, not a rose tinted specs, not a shit cover goggles. It'll be the Trevor Nelson getting hit with a rubber hose for 24 hours.
So, are you for the intro for next week, for the next show? Is it going to be you pretending to be Bane beating the shit out of Batman, who will be Trevor Nelson and a pair of batteries?
Trevor Nelson, I only give you the chance to die when I give you permission.
You're just going to keep picking that up.
I am.
Yeah. Talk over the end of Dark Side of the Moon, will you, you cunt? I'll smack you in the fucking head.
Yeah, I mean, fucking hell, the end of Dark Side of the Moon playing
Eclipse
out.
Is playing.
Eclipse. And he's going, oh yeah, Pink Floyd, because, you know, Pink Floyd's got a great heritage of being great British music. He's like, shut up, you twat. Shut up.
It's a real pity you had to watch it that day and you just didn't get, because the one we got had most of the commentary of everything just taken out of it. It was
fucking hell.
It just let the thing unfold before you and get on with it.
Yeah, just shut up. I mean, and all when the actual really boring shit was going on, when the fucking teams were just wandering about, and it was like clearly half the teams were made up from Scrabble letters pulled out of a bag. Oh, a glumbo. Yeah, that's right. The team from Glasgow, you know, which is like, you know, one bloke and he's the guy carrying the flag, and that's the only reason he's there. Anyway, sorry.
But apart from the commentary, what did you think of the opening ceremony? Because personally, I thought it was excellent. It was bonkers. It was just totally unexpected.
I have to say to start with, when it was like Country Life Butter ad in Teletubby Land, I thought, oh god. Oh no.
When the fucking industrial age suddenly kicked off and suddenly we had fucking chimneys and shit like that.
Yeah, the chimneys coming up was good, but part of it had me thinking, this is just telling the world that British people find entertainment in set changes. But apart from that, once it got going, it was good. I liked it, but it's just that first 10 minutes had my toes curling up so much that I didn't mind Trevor Nelson talking over the top of it, because frankly, it was more interesting to hear the dribblings of passing across his forehead than watch what the hell was going on down there, because there was a lot of people looking very confused. Anyway.
Yeah, so moving on.
Blimey, shall we do some news?
I think we better.
Here is the news. We've got some news. Fucking big news. Here comes the news.
Right, news. Right, we start off with the big one that it now turns out that The Hobbit will now be a trilogy. Um,
Can you hear that sound?
it's been pulled.
For stretching it.
Yes, exactly. There's been a lot of theories as to what exactly they're going to be doing with it.
Silmarillion.
Yes, exactly. And the Silmarillion is kind of the idea, I think, which is essentially taking stuff from their index and their appendices and just using bits from that and back histories of characters that will later turn up in Lord of the Rings and in The Hobbit, and essentially, making a third film from basically the conjoined twin of Lord of the Rings and Hobbit.
Make the fucking Hobbit and just leave the rest of that shit out of it.
Well, it depends, doesn't it? Because, if they've got a love for it, that's fine. If it's being done for the cash, then we got a problem. Because, obviously, last time, Peter Jackson did anything for the cash, was kind of... It felt like he did it for the cash with bloody King Kong. But I think, when you got love for it, I think you get a really good product out of him. But
you know what? I've read The Hobbit at least 3 or 4 times, right?
You've done better than I have.
Well, there you go. But I don't remember having to read the Silmarillion just to understand what the fucking story was about. You don't need all that shit. Just get.
It's not the Hobbit though, is it? It's the Silmarillion is kind of like those bits in between. It's those filler episodes.
This is the thing. You don't need to have filler bits there. Everything you need is contained in that story. You don't need to give us fucking Elrond's 400-year back history to understand why Smaug the fucking dragon is sitting in a fucking volcano. Sorry.
Yes. Okay, so you think it's a bit milky?
God, fuck yes. Just do the story in one. If you need to make it a 3-hour movie, fine, but don't string it out to 2 or 3 films.
Well,
Jesus.
I can see it being 2 films. It was a push, but I thought the second film would be the Lord of the Rings Bridge, but clearly that's not going to be the case.
Do you know what? Compared to Lord of the Rings, this thing is a fucking pamphlet. It really is. It's... Ack. Don't need 3 films, just do 1. Just spend loads of money on that. Pile your entire budget into that and make Smaug look like the bestest dragon you've ever seen on film. Lovely.
Okay, well, fair enough. Right, well, we'll just have to wait and see then, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
Other sequel news now. Basically, Spider-Man, The Amazing Spider-Man, is obviously going to get a sequel. It did rather well, did a lot of cash. And Sony have announced that they're pursuing Mark Webb for a second stint in the director's chair.
Oh, right, excellent.
So it now turns out that despite criticisms, which obviously I haven't seen the film, so I don't know, but criticisms levelled at him that he can't really do the action scenes as well as he can do the drama scenes. They're basically bringing him back because he did shit good.
I thought it was a good film. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, so I can't comment, so I don't know. But
seeing as they've taken a slightly different tack, they could have gone straight for the Green Goblin, but to tell you the truth, if they're making more than just like a sequel and they're going to make a further sequel to it, I'm hoping that they don't bring the Goblin in it until at least film 3. Because the groundwork is being laid for the Goblin.
Yeah.
But I don't want to see him until film 3. So what I'd like to see in the next one is one of the lesser used villains like Mysterio or
Rhino?
The Rhino...
It's just a bloke in a suit with
the
a rhino
is,
horn.
is like there's not really much to the Rhino.
He's a shitty superhero.
Yeah, or something like the Vulture. Or I know they've already done him, but maybe even Dr. Octopus.
Well,
they did him so well in number 2. As much as I kind of think, as much as I don't think, out of those last 3 films, or not even out of last. Even though I've got problems with Spider-Man 2, the Tobey Maguire one, I still think there are lots of elements in it that are absolutely fucking brilliant. The whole fight scene on the train, stuff like that, and Dr. Octopus himself, played very well by is it Edward Molina?
Yes.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, him. Great, fantastic. Really liked the bits that the fight scenes, the action. Yeah. Excellent.
Okay.
But, yeah, lesser-known villain this time. Mysterio, I think, would be a really good one to do.
Or Electro.
Electro, maybe.
Well, you can do him in that kind of Mickey Rourke Whiplash kind of fashion. You don't have to have him with the stupid, bright yellow and green.
No, you wouldn't have that anyway.
Electro suit, which looks like he's dropped out of a disco in the 70s.
Yeah, you wouldn't have that anyway. I can't see him doing it that way. It would be some sort of variation on it. But yeah, a lesser known villain. One that's actually got a bit of meat to its bones. One that's been in the comics a few times, but isn't like in the mainstream of the public conscious like the Green Goblin is.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah. Do you want to move your mic a little bit closer, by the way, or move closer to your mic? Sorry.
Well, I'm right up close.
Okay,
It's right in my grill.
I was just looking at the waveform. I didn't mean to interrupt you while you were.
That's right. I mean, I'm coming through quite loudly. Look.
There you go. That's cool. Don't worry. Sorry. Brief technical. I'm just so aware of this new piece of software.
Yes.
Anyway, moving on to more Marvel news now. Sorry. Basically, Marvel Studios have announced that they are about to start developing a Marvel Universe TV show. For the channel ABC, and reportedly, it's going to be based around and in the Avengers universe. However, it will be a high-concept cop show, which has led a lot of people to believe that it's going to be a Shield style, lesser superheroes style cop show or spy show, sort of Alias kind of thing.
I think your comment on Facebook called it correctly.
Go on.
Where there's going to be lots of undercover missions where we don't want to show our powers.
Exactly, yes, exactly. And that's the thing is, on IO9, someone actually said, or rather Deadline, someone said that it's, according to the writer Kurt Busiek, it's going to be it's going to be similar to Kurt Busiek's and Alex Moss's Marvels. So lots of, we're on the ground, and then all of a sudden Spider-Man will swing past and carry on going, and then you'll see a robot and he'll carry on going, and then meanwhile we'll get on with our story kind of thing.
Okay, well, you know what? It may be if you had every couple of episodes you had a proper hero showing up, but it's like...
But I do think it's going to be, today Iron Man can't wear his suit. He has to be Tony Stark undercover in a library.
Yeah.
Doing fuck all.
Or it'll be, you'll see newspaper reports or snatches on television of something going off.
Yes. And definitely lesser Marvels as well. You won't get Spider-Man, you won't get Iron Man.
If you get Spider-Man anyway, would you really?
Well, no.
The TV or the
but you
rights
won't
to that character.
But you won't even get like Daredevil or anything like that. You'll get, I don't know, maybe the back of Bruce Banner walking around a corner or something. That sort of thing. I mean, it could be done, but I just think the budget will be a gargantuan if they have more than like Smallville-style superpower events.
Yeah, I think they may be... this may be a bit of a mistake. I just think, look, the Avengers is brilliant. Don't start milking this for all it's worth, because I don't know. I think it kind of takes away from the excitement of seeing another movie.
Yeah,
I like the build up to the Marvel movies.
Yeah, I have to say I kind of share that. I'm kind of a little bit wary of the fact that we're getting so close to this whole sort of like Marvel Universe is fantastic because they've done 5 movies in a row and essentially pulled off a big trick. But the next phase is going to be the one where either they're going to fall on their ass because they're just going too cosmic, or they're going to fall on their ass because it's too all-pervasive everywhere. Everywhere's going to be Marvel, and it's just going to be like, ooh, too much. Let's just have something different.
Let's just have films every once in a while. Let's not have a TV show.
Let's not have a whole new comic spin-off. Let's not have, 200 Z-list Marvels, like fucking Black Condor and all that kind of stuff.
No, screw all that shit. Let's just have the films. I like that. That's enough for me. They're drip feeding every once in a while.
Exactly. I think that's a good idea. The last piece of news is the reveal of the latest Skyfall trailer.
Yeah.
James Bond. So what do you think of that?
I've got to say, the first trailer I saw was all right. But...
Didn't blow my skirt up, to be honest.
No, but this trailer, Jesus fucking H Christ. And out of all the fantastic stuff that you see in it, the bit that I am most impressed with is the little exchange between James Bond and Q. And it's the Q character in this. If he's half as cool throughout the rest of the film as he is in just this one little snatch it, he's going to be my favourite aspect of the entire series, I think.
Well, it's kind of like, it's the third part, isn't it? It's essentially it's topping the icing over the whole thing. It's kind of like, now he gets his PPK, now he becomes Bond the womanizer that we know and kind of love, and he's just going for more cool and, you know, getting in there. And I mean, especially the scene, the sort of like the really nifty payoff when he comes in, he jumps in the back of a breaking up train, just checks his cuffs as he wanders through.
Sort of shit.
That kind of shit, you know, it's kind of getting into
it's
that.
Bordering on the whole...
The Roger Moore...
Yeah, as long as it doesn't stray too far into that and we keep...
Though he does appear to be strapped to a chair yet again, ready to get his balls smacked, I guess.
No, they've already tried that. No, he's got balls of steel.
Yes.
Although, you know, I wouldn't want to be strapped to a chair while Javier Bardem's sort of like, you know, standing in front of me, giving it the bad guy.
With an Andy Warhol wig on.
Yeah, well, he could, to tell the truth, the man could wear, like, a plate of fruitcakes on his head, and I would still be kind of shitting myself.
Yeah, he does look a bit weird in this. But, yeah, and it's all filmed in IMAX as well, so, or apparently... But
well, bring it on. When is it out?
November, I think November 17th.
I can't wait. Can't come quick enough.
Exactly. Right. Okay. Well, there you go. Let's get through the news now. It's time for Jim Moon's Profanasaurus.
Fanny face. Euphemism. A bearded gentleman. One sporting a quim chin or cunty chops. Alternatively, the predator.
Thank you very much for that, Jim.
Yeah, Jim. Thank you very much. It's Country Images, not the fanny face thing, but the whole opening of this show. I imagine it to be on BBC Two, and it's like it comes up with does the theme, and it comes up with the title of the show.
Yeah.
And then you see it pan around, and it's like Jim is in silhouette, sitting in a chair, and then slowly the lights come up.
Yeah, it's sort of like Roald Dahl's.
A bit like one of these philosophy programs.
Oh,
yeah.
Whatever, History Today.
History Today. That's it. Yeah.
Of course, I'm kind of worrying about the whole bearded thing now. Fucking cunty.
Funny face.
Cunty chops.
Cunty chops.
Anyway, thank you very much for that, Jim. And of course, you can hear Jim and one of our feedbackers, Gary Horsehead Stead's How to Get Ahead in Ghost Hunting on this week's Hypnobobs. Yeah, it's very interesting. Very good it is too. Which you can get on hypnogoria.com or you can get on iTunes or geekplanetonline.com. Right, okay, I'm sure we'll hear more from Jim before the night's out.
I have no doubt.
Well, only if you're listening to the second part of this cast, which comes later. You can download that later. Yes, here I am again, spoiling the whole thing, breaking it in half, and stopping it at the just shy of 1 hour mark. So, there you go. Terribly sorry, but it's probably the best place to break it. So, yes, here I am. Again, bothering you, interrupting your blooming podcast and stuff. Like I say, after this, go download the second part, and you'll get the whole of the Dark Knight, the whole of that section, the spoiler section. You'll get feedback, and of course, you'll just find out that I'm on holiday and I'll never be coming back again. Well, at least until the 14th of August. And of course, you'll hear my lovely interactions with Mr. Boris Johnson, which got also recorded in a bit of a weird way. So, yes, thank you very much for listening to this little bit of the podcast, and see you in the next bit of the podcast. Goodbye.
Now is the time to say goodbye. Goodbye. Now is the time to yield a sigh. Yield it, yield it. Now is the time to wend our way until we meet again some sunny day. Goodbye, goodbye. We're leaving you, Skeletor. Goodbye. We wish you fun. Goodbye. 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 We're leaving you, Skeletor. Goodbye. We wish you fun. Goodbye. You know there comes a time in everybody's life when they must say goodbye. That time is now, and so with tears in either eye, we say goodbye as people have said throughout the years. We leave this mortal coil on which we strut and fret our weary way, as Shakespeare put it. God bless him. What a wonderful old chap Shakespeare was. Bold but sexy. Oh, take that rhythm away with its wonderful melodies. Oh, goodbye, they say.